My skin is black.
What you looking
My
at?
skin
Yeah,
is black.
I feel so good to be black right now.
is black.
What you look-
Welcome to episode 143 of the Black in Fashion podcast. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And of course, I must call to action. Make sure you guys are signed up for our Black Designer Directory. If you're interested in being added to the directory, you can just email us at blackinfashionpodcast.com. blackandfashionpodcast@gmail.com. Sorry. And then also we have our black notes. So we want to hear from you as far as like your obstacles, your challenges, your tribulations. So the whole point of the excerpts for the Black in Fashion campaign is for us to use them in different mediums. So I'm putting together an exhibition about how you feel about being black in fashion, and we're going to use art, we're going to use paint, we're going to use cinematography, we're going to use fabrication. There's going to be all these different excerpts in all these different formats. So please send them in. We don't have even close to what we need. We have like 5 and we need like 50. So please send them in. So today I am joined with Melissa. It's called Audacious, right?
Audacious.
Audacious by Melissa. So Audacious by Melissa is an evening special event couture wear. She's also one of the winners from our our designer contest, designer chance contest. And we're going to learn a little bit more about her background, her journey today, a little bit more about herself, and then also so you guys can follow her and keep up with everything that she has going on. Now, before we start any podcast, we always do our little this or that. So you're just going to tell me what you prefer over the other.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Yes.
Skinny leg or flare leg?
Skinny leg.
Side boob or under boob?
Side boob.
Hoops or studs?
Hoops.
Mules. Yeah, I'm going to argue against that. Mules or wedges?
Or wedges. Ooh, that's hard. Mules. I'll do mules.
Dresses or skirts?
Skirts.
Skirts. Okay. All right. We're in the same vibe there. So I just want you to start out by telling us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and when that fashion bug bit you.
Okay, so born in New York City, born in Harlem, raised Dominican family. I'm the oldest of, I have 3 younger sisters, so it's oldest of 4. Growing up, I was always like creative, like always artistic. So I was anything creative. I was always outgoing. I was out there. Like out of my family, they were more conservative while I'm always out there. So that fashion hit me when I noticed that my grandmother, she has a sewing machine in her apartment in the Heights, and I always see her sewing. So she taught me a little bit here and there, and I grew interested, but I was still like young and free, whatever. Then, I'm just being a kid, right? So then it grew more when I was in high school, and I had an English teacher named Miss Landers, and she was like the best like English teacher. And then she taught. We had this program that was an FIT program for high school, and I was like, oh, I want to be in it.
What school did you go to?
I went to Brandeis High School.
Okay.
It's not there no more, sad, but I went to Brandeis High School. And then I did a little bit there. I learned a little bit of sewing and whatnot, but I had to cut it short because I had like family emergency. But from there, it gave me a taste of fashion, and I know I wanted to be a designer right then and there. So I applied to FIT. Sad I didn't go in, but I went to Buffalo State. It's called now University, the best fashion program ever.
Buffalo State.
Yes,
Okay.
Buffalo State. Yes,
Okay.
and I'm telling you, the fashion department now has grown so much compared to like when I graduated. So,
Gotcha.
but and then my sister, she graduated from high school, and I was doing her prom dress, and then that's when Audacious by Melissa like created. This was 2017,
Gotcha.
and then I was just I don't have my pictures, but it was a black dress, lace, hand placed appliques that I put on her. It was like, I'm telling you, when I made that, I was so impressed because I'm like, I thought like, I could make like simple dress, but the way I saw it, I was like, oh no, I'm hot couture for sure.
You put it together.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I find that when you challenge yourself or you don't say no to a project, it opens up your range because you figure out a way to do it. So even if when you're not used to something, it's just like, well, shit, I got the basic. If you got the basic foundations of it, you can figure it out. And that's how I think a lot of designers learn and grow, is because they just start trying shit. 'Cause it's
Exactly.
like, how else do you learn? You know,
Right.
like you gotta just like try stuff, even if you don't feel confident. You'll learn through trial and error or whatever. You'll figure it out. You might make some bulk mistakes, as my mother would say. Like you might have to pay for some shit.
Yes.
You fucked it up, but you're learning.
Yes.
You know.
And but the things I would say as a designer is hard because you would think like as a it's the expectation of when you see other designers, it's supposed to be just coming out there. But then as I'm like learning as a designer, it's okay because I'm really learning. What's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and it will come up, it will show out. You know.
Facts. That's a fact. Okay. So tell me this. So once your sister's prom happened and, you know, it started to really get out there, when you started to see like an influx and like people asking you to make stuff, was it hard for you to figure out, you know, how you were going to price things, how you were going to go about things? Tell me about how you kind of like went from just doing your sisters and then now it's like, okay, now I'm trying to run a business, and what that transition was like for you.
I would say that it was hard at first because at first I'm like thinking of price, like, okay, this dress, if it looks like this is gonna be the price. I wasn't thinking about my labor and stuff like that. And sometimes, you know, there's some customers that goes like the simpler route, and there's some of them that goes like very extravagant. And I don't include my like also the time and how much it takes, because I'm not, sometimes like I like to take the challenge that if I haven't done it, I'll practice a little bit and try to make it work the way how the client would like, you know.
Gotcha. So when you first started out, did you have like contracts in place? Did you take like the clients to the fabric store with you? Like, how did it go as far as like really like forming out like a custom wear business?
So I like it personal. You know, before the pandemic, I like it personal. It's mostly with friends that they saw like my work and stuff, and it was kind of hard at first, like with friends, but I feel like as friends and the way how we treat each other, and they understand the difference between like business and personal. So that, I feel like that worked out. Like it helped me out a little bit, not to be like, I'm not trying to overprice you, but this is the work and stuff like that. And it's just like just gaining the trust and the client trusting you. It just helps out a lot. If I answered that question, because I feel like
because like customer service is a personal thing, and then when you make something custom, you really want them to trust you. Actually, that was after a while, that was like the first thing in my contracts, and now it is now. Like it's just like, yo, if you don't trust me, this is not gonna be a good working relationship.
Okay.
Because if they don't trust you, it's them texting you all hours of the night. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, how's it going with my dress? It's like, what do you expect me to tell you? That it's draped up on my mannequin? Like, what do you want, you know? I think it is interesting, like, for the consumers of custom-made businesses, like, they just don't know. So that personal experience helps because it helps them understand the process or whatever. And, like, during, like, your consultation and, like, bringing them in, it's like, you break it down. But sometimes that shit that you tell them goes in one ear out the other. Because I already told you.
Yes.
How it's gonna go.
Exactly.
And it might be in the contract too, right? Yeah, but you didn't read that. You just decided, you just kept on moving or whatever. But that happens. I think that is trial and error throughout the process or whatever, like as you're learning. Now tell me this. So like you're doing your custom wear and you're doing that, and now you're like, okay, I want to hop into collection mode. So what inspires you, and what would you say is your brand foundation?
I'm still working on it. I'm gonna be honest, because I did my first fashion, New York Fashion Week show in the fall, and it was just, again, I wanted to. My goal was just to like, I want my brand to be out there. I need haute couture. Like I want it out there. Like, you know how like sometimes everything's hidden, but you're not pushing out. So I was like searching. Designer casting, whatever, and this company called Lane in Fashion Production, they hit me out like, hey,
Lane in Fashion.
Yeah, Lane of Fashion, Lane LAN of Fashion Production.
Okay.
But they told me like there's a package, and then you pay this package, and you know you have certain models, you have photographers, and
it's all included in the package.
Yes,
Huh.
And it depends on which package you get, a little bit more, a little bit
That's
less.
what you did.
Yes.
Was it worth it? Like the amount of money that you paid, did you feel like you saw a return on your investment?
I would say yes, because let me tell you, I got let go of my job, and I scrapped every single money that I could to make sure this happened, because I was not going to quit. And when I tell you that I am a hustler and I'm a go-getter, I make sure I make that happen. So, and like with like my supporters doing a GoFundMe, like every little bit helped, and like that helped me, made me get into the fashion show. And even while that was happening, I was making sure I was doing my collection, making sure it was like looking right. And let me tell you, the collection, I did that last minute. I just drew it. Because they was like, what is your, what was your mood board? What is your collection? I didn't have anything. Yeah, and I didn't. I was just like, all right, boom, boom, boom. And I was just
put
thinking,
something together.
Exactly. And then the thing, I was so grateful because I had a friend of mine that gave me a bunch of fabric that is like, a bunch of fabric that I haven't used. And so I was just trying to think, okay, what can I draw with this fabric? Because I'm telling you, like, I'm trying to use all the resources that I have and not spend any money. And then when my friend gave me the fabric, and then when I got accepted to that, I was like, oh no, everything is colliding into one, and I need to like make sure I need to show out. So, what was the question? I'm sorry, but it's just like so like this fashion show helped me create my collection. That was my first collection. So I would say this was like a rush, but I'm preparing.
But what you say was profitable though? Like, did you feel like you made, like, did you get connections from it where you feel like you actually saw a return on the investment? Was it expensive also? Because I feel like with fashion shows, it's like hit or miss. Like, you either have like a really, really good turnout and you get good photos like that, and you're able to pull clients from, or you just spend a lot of time doing a whole bunch of shit that is not beneficial for you, and it could be because it's a production company. So there is some production companies that are great, and then there's some that's just like, stay away from them.
Okay. Well, I would say with this one, as my first production company, the models were nice. Like, and it was like a diverse. That's what I love, diverse. The photos came out amazing, and then photographers were able to like hit me up. They were like calling me. The only I wasn't making profit, but I felt like I got recognized, and I felt like that's what I wanted more than like getting.
You wanted visibility.
Yes.
So it was more of a marketing part of your marketing budget, not necessarily like a sales budget or whatever. It's just like getting that visibility and getting people out there to like really know who you are as a brand.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. So long as that's still profitable though.
Yeah.
But it's profitable in visibility.
Yes,
Or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah. So like it's the same thing, but it's just like anything that you do, and I always like try to encourage designers to just do your research. Have you heard of like flying solo?
Yes.
Yeah. And they're trash. I can say that on my podcast, so I don't give a shit. But like, you know, they sell you kind of like to me, somewhat of a pipe dream.
Okay.
It's like, oh my God, sell your collection in Soho, downtown. But it's like you're paying, I think the minimum is like almost $1,600 a month. But if you're not seeing a return on that investment, then it's not. But they don't tell you in that store, they're like, they don't have good sales per hour. They don't have good UPCs. It's very good for a stylist to come and pull there. But in that case, I could just invest into a showroom. And a space in the showroom is a lot less than that. You could be in a showroom in LA. You could be in a showroom in New York. And you're not paying $1,600 hoping that somebody sells your products that not as well versed in your sales. Because you got to think about it. All these retailers, they have salespeople.
Okay.
And those people are trained to sell particular products.
Okay.
So in a store like Flying Solo, where there's a whole bunch of designers in there, the person that's on sales inside of the store, how can they really speak to your brand? Are they being trained on your brand and where it comes from and how it is created and stuff like that? And that's why I feel like I don't want to call them a sham because they are a whole business, but it's not as what it seems.
Okay.
So I just think that making sure you do your proper research before you invest into something is just great. Now, fashion shows, it's a one-hit deal. You pay for it one time, you get the visibility. But, like, opportunities like that where it just sounds so great. Because they even have I think I saw one on Instagram recently about show your pieces in Paris.
Yes,
Solo. But it's just like, okay, yeah, my piece is going to sit in the store, but I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it to be there. So if you're paying that money for it to be there and you're not seeing a return on your investment, is it really worth it?
Right.
So, and I know one girl in particular, she put her stuff in there and she wasn't able to pay her bill during the pandemic, and they sold all her stuff to charity. And she had like almost $10,000 worth of stuff, but she was only in the store for 3 months. So 3 months was 3 months times $1,500. That's $4,500.
Yeah.
Her stuff was worth more than that, and you sold it off because she didn't pay her bill during the pandemic. Which who the fuck was paying their bills during the pandemic? Nobody.
Right.
We were broke.
I did not know I didn't know they had a store. Like, again.
Oh, yeah. Because I have my bags there. And I know from personal experience because I have my stuff in that store, too. So not only did I know from my own personal experience, I've had like 5 or 6 clients that have had stuff there. They all have bad experience. I don't have one person with one good experience, even myself. I was just like, y'all full of shit. Give me my stuff back.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm
It's nice to sell a car you know about versus selling any car. Right. Definitely, that's a fact there. But so I have a segment. It's called "Is it Success or Is it Disaster?"
okay.
So can you tell me a little story in your business where you learned something from something that went completely to shit? Like it could have been an experience with a client where you're like, okay, yeah, I'm never doing that again. But you let it be something that you learned something bad from, but then turn out to like, I made this a better business model for myself. Anything that like went like shit and you like, okay, yep, won't do that again.
Let me see.
I literally took for myself, I can just say, every situation I've been in where there has been like a client issue or something that I didn't know, like I found out like that people didn't like when I like post like the fitting videos. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to post? I gotta promote my business. So it's like, what do I post? I'm not posting your final pieces. I'm not posting like anything because I'm posting like fitting, which looks nothing like your garment because we use, imitation fabric. But even have to like, I had to put that into my contract. So to be like, hey, this is the only way I can advertise. So I can't show your final samples because that's you and you decide to put it out when you want to and all the other stuff. But fitting, you're going to let me show that shit. So it's actually in the contract now. But I had to go through a tip with a client to add that. So anything like that where you like, okay, I learned something because it was brought to my attention. And I'm like, okay, I got to switch that. I got to change that.
I would say, well, I had this once experience, a family member. It's like, she's a plus size.
I always want a discount too.
It's, let me tell you, and it's like I'm always like I'm ready to help you out, right? But it's like she lived in Florida. She lives in Florida, and then like she says like she had a wedding in like October. This was like maybe May or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, "Oh, if you could make me a nice what is it? I forgot what are those dresses that's for weddings." That is
cocktail?
Like cocktail dress. I'm like, yeah, sure. What is your budget? I would have done 300. I wouldn't mind.
Are you asking what their budget is?
Yes, I asked them.
See, I don't do that. This is start right here.
Listen, and that's when I learned. I literally like, oh, so what is your budget? She said 150. I was like,
150 for a custom dress?
For a cocktail. I was like,
you must be out your rabbit ass.
I literally told her like, my budget is a little bit high. You could literally get it at the store. Like you're better off getting it at the store. Like honestly, it makes no sense. Like, and it's like I don't like to be rude, but it's like when you ask me dumb, like you're paying 150 for a dress.
For what? Even was that the fabric included?
So everything included.
Oh hell no, girl! You can't afford custom.
And look, listen.
You can't afford custom. $150.
Like, she's a little bit heavier than me, and it's like, listen, the fabric that you want is like, it's not even gonna like. And I'm being honest. Like, come on. Right. And then, but I just learned that I'm having contracts, and like this is what's happening. And like you said, having the price already in the contract, like this is if you want, what did I put? This is prom, this is bridal, and then this is custom, and those are the prices. And then
you have a starting point.
Yes. Okay. Starting point. Yes.
Yeah, because I just feel like if you don't, like, that's where you leave room for people to come in with that. Like, oh, this is my budget, this is what I have. But it's just like you have to get into a space, like as a business owner, where their budget is not your problem. Mm-hmm. And that's with any business. Like you go anywhere, like not everything is negotiable. Like some things are negotiable, but when it comes to certain budgets, like yeah, well, I can work around it, but it has to be where I am. You know, exactly. Or whatever. And I think that the custom business is just a hard business because it's just like you're doing the sourcing, you're trying to figure out the financials behind it, like you're doing the labor, you're also doing the marketing. Like it's just so much that you have to consider, and then so much things that you have to put your time to, even like answering inquiries. So like let's say you got a whole bunch of prom clients and then people are inquiring about other things. It's like it's hard for you to even get to them and respond and whatnot because you have so much other things going on. People are not paying for your time.
Exactly.
They're paying for your expertise.
Yes, and that's the thing too. I don't have a consultation fee, and that's where I went wrong. I'm learning. I'm going.
Oh, got one now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I was just like,
and that's what I learned because like, and the thing is, I'm just learning, and like I don't mind giving people my time, but then when I start to see people wasting my time, it's like, all right, see now you ruin it for other people. Or just not being considerate. Yeah. It's not about they wasting, but like not being considerate of your time. Like, and I feel like even I think I did consultations for free too, like when I first started out. And then I remember a mom and daughter arguing the whole time because of course mom's paying, but daughter wants what she wants. And I want to say those damn people were in my house for like 3 hours going back and forth, and I was just like, what the hell? No. And I don't think I realized it in that moment, but I remember them leaving and me looking at the clock and it was just like, yo, they got here at 3 o'clock. It's 7 and we're nowhere.
And I was just like, okay, hell no. You know, and I think I just, you know, upon reading and just stuff like that and just looking at different things, it's just like, and looking at coaches and mentors, I'm just like, they're not paying for your time, they're paying for your expertise, so you can charge whatever you want to charge. When I first started out, I didn't have consultations at all. Then they was 35, then they was 50, then they was 75, then they was 150. Now fucking consultations like $450 with me, but I built up my value to make sure that somebody would want to pay for that, you know, from my expertise. And I learned that in like a more of a financial class, that it's just like we don't have to we can change our price points, but it's about, and when you do change your price point, you make something higher. It's about making sure that the consumer sees the value.
Yes, exactly.
The price point, because that's the hardest part, because of course they have so many options when it comes to shopping and going with designer brands or fast fashion, stuff like that. There's like, when you're an independent designer really trying to figure out, how do I make myself different than everybody else?
Right.
What's your differentiation point?
Like with my designs?
Yeah, like what do you feel like you give to the world of fashion that you don't always see? Or do you feel like you're solving a problem in any way, or you're giving something that you don't always see?
I feel like as a Hispanic, I feel like I'm breaking boundaries for Hispanic, like just, okay, like a typical job is always like in the nursing field and stuff like that. And I feel like and being creative, and like, I feel like in my culture, I feel like creative is not, they never look like, in my family, they never see how I would say it, like, it's not going to work out, like, you're not going to make money and stuff like that. But I feel like the way how I feel, especially I have passion. And when it comes to passion, your work shows so well. And I mean, like, you could have, if you're doing it bad, it's going to come out bad. Mm-hmm. So, like, I will put it this way. My work, my collection, it will be for that person. It's not going to be duplicated by anybody else. Gotcha. Like, like, you're going to see my stuff in a red carpet. Nobody else is not going to see it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, you'll know, like, that.
Well, you will be done with our partner.
Oh, yes.
You'll be able to. Yes. I'm like, that's one of the benefits of being, in the LC realm. You will be able to explain it, because you'll learn how to do like an elevator pitch. So if you're in the room with a whole bunch of people and they ask you what do you do, you're going to be able to spit it out in 90 seconds. So the elevator pitch is like a minute and a half. It says, well, who I am as a brand, what I do, this is what I do, boom. Call you the team, color, classic, confidence. You're a different woman 7 days a week. I only do 7 garments at a time. I only do jackets, jumpsuits, and like, you'll be able to spit it out, because it's just like, I am focused. This is my brand. This is who I am as a designer, and then that's it. So you're the perfect candidate for it.
That's what I'm so excited.
Oh my, because then you will, because like the creative mind is like everywhere. Yeah. And that's us. This never gonna change. Never gonna stop. But what I want to do is add an entrepreneur and a CEO mindset to your creative mind. Okay. So that I'm not gonna say it tames it, it organizes it. Because you can still do everything that you want to do, because that's just the creative mind. But figuring out areas, okay, I'm gonna focus on this first. I'm like, boom, I'm gonna do that. Then I'm going to sprinkle you with a little bit of this, and I'm going to sprinkle you with a little bit of that. And then it creates, like, a brand. Like, ultimately, that's kind of, I would say I did the same thing. Like, I started with my brand. I was a custom wear designer. That's how I didn't want to do that shit no more. Took a break, started to be a teacher. And then I'm like, okay, I want to have a podcast. I want to have a nonprofit. So they all sync well together, but I did them at different points and different stages, and then I just brought them together. But I didn't try to do everything all at once, because it's very, very hard to do that as a creative, because we want to do everything. Yes. I still want to do everything. I still want to do everything. I'm still like that. I still want to do everything. I think I put up a post recently. It was just like, stop trying to do everything. And I'm like, well, who the fuck is gonna do it?
Exactly.
If I don't do it, who else is gonna do it, or whatever? So my last segment is called It's a Muse. So is there any affirmation or mantra or ritual that you do just to keep yourself motivated that you'd like to share with another entrepreneur?
Yes, I have a few.
Throw them out there, girl.
I would tell you, if you're a God believer or whoever you believe, just know that things will be, wherever it leaves you, don't worry about it. Things will come to you. Things will come to you. And I just say this because I have my kid. I worked until I gave birth to my kid. And it's like, I was worrying this whole time, like, not working and stuff like that. And it's like, I was like, God, and mind you, this whole time I'm like, God, like, you know what? I'm not gonna, and that's, and faith. Faith is the word, like, let me tell you, faith was hard for me, but I kept saying, I'm gonna keep having faith. I'm keep having faith. I know you're there, God, but I just want this job. I know you make it. I know you make it perfect for me and stuff like that. But just a little push. I was like, give me that. And then I literally had the good news this week and stuff like that. And then I'm just like, oh,
well,
wow,
what's the good news?
I got a job. Like my old boss literally hit me. Thank you. Like it's. Man, like when your prayers are answered, your prayers are answered, and you be so grateful. And even when you go through the bad, I will also say this: when you go through the bad, be grateful where you at now. Even though it doesn't feel like it, just know that you're able to feel that pain and know that it will be past.
Gotcha. It
will be past because you know what? It's gonna be that next minute something happens, you're gonna be happy again. You're just like, wow, I have been mad for like I'm sorry. I'm just like, it's just like. Sometimes negativity gets to you, but you gotta bounce that off and just hop on that positivity. Like,
are you scared? Like of having to manage entrepreneurship, home life,
yes,
kids, job.
Yes,
like it's time management is gonna be definitely like a thing that you're gonna have to be like, all right, now I got to have a strategic plan.
Yes. But I'm also excited because this is what I've been asking for like my whole time and like. Girl, you gave me this opportunity and I'm not letting you down. Like, I am not. Like, I've been asking for this and I know I have a few questions. I be stumbling, but I'm like, this is why there's you and I'm going to ask you all this. I know you might be thinking I'm annoying, but I'm, you have no idea.
That's what's for. Like, that was the whole point. Well, I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about the whole, like, the way it was happening? Because I feel like I got a little shunned in my comments.
I did not like that. I
got shunned in my comments, and it took everything in me to be like, bitch, what?
No, I read that. That's funny because I read that and I felt like, first of all, this is your business. Honestly, you could have not chose nobody. You could have chose nobody. You could have been like, okay, one of you guys, you got to write me a letter. You could have done. This is your business. This is yours. But you gave 4 women and. I forgot.
The rest of them, I got them like a discovery call.
But you still gave these women opportunities that nobody else could give them opportunities. Yeah. Like, I'm grateful
Somebody called me a coward. One of the girls called me a coward. It's for me, it's to be taking everything in me because as a business owner, we always take shit personal. Yeah. So for me, when I was looking at the comment I was reading, I was going back. I'm like, you know what? I have time today. Because today you want to play with me, and I'm not gonna. I normally won't respond to shit, but I'm just like, oh no, this girl got me fucked up, and I'm like, you got me real fucked up, and I was like, you know what? I'm talking about this on the podcast because on the podcast I'm saying whatever I want. I may not say exactly what I want under the LC page because I'm trying to be professional, and I even wrote her back, and I was just like, who said I was professional? Who the fuck told you that? It's like shows your professionalism. I'm like, saying you need to get a life. Now that's unprofessional. Like,
someone was just mad that they didn't enter the contest though.
Yeah, I think, but it was one of the finalists' friends who was commenting like that.
But then my thing is, it's just like my thing is like, if they thought
that votes was gonna win. I never said that. Nothing in the rules said that votes was gonna win. Like it was just like American Idol, child. I be telling people, I'm like, America was voted, but at the end of the day, the judges make the decisions. Even president, we vote, but the fuck electoral college makes the final decision. I never said that votes is gonna be the winner of this competition, and I made sure I iterated. I said, that's your community, because I just hope when y'all come out with these lines, when we done with them, that all that support that you was getting, that them people is your damn purpose. Yes. That's why I did it, like, so that you know who your tribe is, who your community is. But that had nothing to do with my decision,
right?
Like.
No, no.
Girl, people crazy. People be trying to tell you how to run your business, and I just be like,
you have all this mouth, like
you got behind Instagram, no, because I be like, because I'm one of them girls, like, girl, see me in the streets.
Thank you, like,
see me in the streets. And I hate to be like that, but I think that in business, we are expected to have a certain amount of decorum. For customer service, for people, blah, 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 which is why, we have, Yelps and reviews, and people say different things. So I feel like even like my Google reviews, they probably trash. I think I got like 3.6 stars because I'm not afraid to stand up for myself. I'm not afraid to hold people accountable within that, So there's a level when it comes to certain businesses, like, in restaurants, stuff like that. Yeah, you're looking for the ultimate, like, customer service. But in a business like mine, and in the fashion business, like, we are this is a partnership.
Yeah.
My customers and us, and even like when you're making like your client stuff, they have to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Besides what realistic.
Okay.
Because if you make something like, let's say you're making a custom dress for a girl that showed you a picture of a girl that's very like slimming and her tits are sitting up and stuff like that, and then you make that in that woman's size, it doesn't look the way it look on the picture, and it's never going to look like that.
Yep.
Realistically,
Yes.
your body type, the fabric, everything is different because you're showing me a picture, baby. I'm guessing, assuming that, okay, that might be a life, or that might be a like you don't know because
Right.
pictures are photoshopped. So as a custom person, you're looking at something for inspiration, and it is only that. It's inspiration.
Yeah.
And inspiration only. I can try my best to get as close to this as possible, but it's never going to be exact because you don't have the body type of the picture, and then we don't have the exact same fabrications or materials as the picture. So being realistic, and to me in the fashion business, is a partnership.
Yeah.
With your customers, with your clients like that. Now, if you're just doing, direct to consumer, you're making stuff and you put it out there and stuff like that, it's also accountable for the client to check the size chart, to check how it's supposed to be taken care of, because then you might get an email down the line like, oh, I put it in a washing machine and this happened and da-da-da-da. Well, you weren't supposed to put it in the washing machine. Did you read the tag? So even in the product-based business, the customer still has to be held accountable in some shape, way, or form, and that's what I feel like a lot of the issues is. It's always on the merchant. You didn't do this, or I didn't have a quality piece. Well, I put it in the washing machine one time and this happened. Well, that's because you wasn't supposed to do that. And I feel like that happens a lot in the fashion business, where we're not holding the client just as accountable. Oh, I got it and it didn't fit. Did you look at the size chart before you ordered it?
Right.
Is it my fault that it didn't fit?
Right.
Or did you not look at what was, right there in front of you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the custom world, girl, is it your fault if somebody gains weight? Is it your fault if somebody loses weight? If you charge somebody extra to fix something that you've already done, why do you feel like my labor is free?
Exactly.
And then people get mad, like, well, you said it's going to be this price, right, before you made these changes.
Yes.
Now you have to pay more. Labor is not free. You have to pay for people's time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that is one of the biggest things you got to trust, and hold your customers accountable. You read the contract, right? There ain't no, I'm going to get my money back, I'm going to do this. My contract says no refund because it's a service.
Yes.
I'm providing a service to you.
And
So,
a lot of people, it's weird because they think it's a store. No. This
right.
is a one person.
And,
One person show. Like,
that's it. And people being unsatisfied think that equates to refund. Being unsatisfied with the service means that you can write a bad review, you cannot use me again, and you don't have to recommend me, but it doesn't mean that you can't pay me.
exactly.
It doesn't mean you get your money back. It doesn't mean they want to throw, how people love, like, well, I'm going to take legal matters. Bro, the amount of money you would spend on legal matters is still not going to get you your money back, and then you're going to be the one wasting money, because in my contract it says if you sue me, you got to pay my lawyer fees.
this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm learning from her. I'm about to add that to mine.
Right. Like, yeah, go ahead. And you got to sue me in my state, because you work for somebody out of town, so now you got to come to New York to sue me, and my lawyer fees is on you. All right, knock yourself out.
She ain't playing.
But that's you protecting yourself, and
Yeah.
it's hate that we even have to get there, especially when the bulk of the people that we serve are within our community.
Yes.
They're black, they're brown, they're women that we're trying to help, and what they do is they get so caught up in their emotion and how mad they are that they're not being logical, and I think that just happens, and it's just like you have to figure out a way in your customer service and like, hey, I need you to take accountability without being rude.
Yeah.
This was a partnership between me and you. This is what you did. This is what I did. Let's lay out the facts here. Mm-hmm. And when you lay out the facts, they really don't want to hear it. I laid out the facts so many times to people, and they be so bad afterwards. I'm like, you know what? I ain't for everybody. That's it. Like, it ain't. So before we head out, just any inspiring words you have for any of our creative moms, just about managing that whole process of like household and still getting to your dreams and not losing yourself. I feel like I hear from so many moms where they have to take breaks or they don't do the things that they want to do because of the kids and stuff, and clearly you're still doing that for yourself. So just how do you like manage it, and how do you make sure that you are staying true to what you want outside of like home life?
I would say it's hard. I would say it's hard, but you're doing it. Like, as long as you know you spend time with your family, and then you're still doing, even if it's an hour of what you love, that's all that matters, because that hour is still is the seed that grows in you, and you're like still practicing, you're still doing it, you know. That's why I say as moms, like, enjoy both sides, you know. It may feel overwhelming, but even if it's 10 minutes, you're doing something, sewing something, as long as you're still working on the stuff that you love.
Lovely. Okay, so before we get out of here, just throw out like your social media handles, how they can get in contact with you, get services with you, and if you have anything coming up or events or launches and like that, throw it out there too.
Well, you can catch me on my brand, Audacious by Melissa, at IG and Facebook. That's all I have right now. And you can hit me up, DM me. I'm very friendly. I can answer any questions. And yeah.
Cool. And then you'll see her collection coming soon.
Yes.
All right.
Because of her.
Right? You know, so as I always say, people, stay black and brown. Peace out.